Okay, I'm going to try this again, so hopefully this is a little bit better. Maybe it's just me, I'm not used to running all this technology. But what I want to get started with is some news that I saw yesterday on YouTube, actually. This was the main thumbnail picture that CBS News Battleground put out. And I guess they put out some kind of predictions for the upcoming election coming down to the two states, North Carolina and Georgia, saying that it's going to be a tight race and that they were looking at Georgia, I think, in particular, to being the main state. And I can leave this video later in the descriptions. I'll have to find it again. But it's this thumbnail picture that definitely caught my attention because, I mean, I think most people would recognize it, I would hope, but probably not. But just seeing how our relation with numbers anymore, this definitely stands out because obviously we have, for Georgia, they put Joe Biden at 46% of voters and 45% for Trump. And if this is foreshadowing, I mean, this is going to be so in your face because Trump is currently the 45th president and Biden could potentially be the 46th president. So a lot to cover just with those two numbers alone between them. Even the word Democratic equals 46 in the most pure cipher, so it kind of seems like it would be a Democrat, but who knows. And then a lot of previous things with Joe Biden and the number 46. Don't forget that his son, Beau Biden, died at the age of 46 in 2015. And also another person who has died in his life is his late wife, Nelia Hunter, along with their daughter, Naomi Biden, in a car accident back in 1972. And what stands out about the day that she died, if you were to run it from the election day this year, let me get this up for you. From election day, November 3rd, to the day that she died, or the anniversary date of her death, is actually a span of 46 days after the election. So a lot of 46 connections surrounding Biden. And I'll cover a lot more about Nelia Hunter if you're not familiar with her. Are you guys here? I hope you guys are hearing me all right. I'll check in once in a while, but I know I have slow internet. Maybe that's my problem. But going back to the news of them putting this out on CBS, yesterday, August 3rd, was the 216th day of the year, like Joseph Biden Jr., 216. And I'll talk more about that 72 later. The 72 just makes me think of how his wife and daughter died in 1972 from a car accident. So look at 216 and 72 with Joseph Biden Jr., and you'll see that even car accident equals 216 and 72. And so a lot happening with Biden, I feel like, is related to his late wife. And since they're talking about Georgia in this voting at 46%, 45%, Georgia and Biden Jr. have a 2 out of the 4 cipher match, 62 and 127. 127 like Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. And even August 3, when written out, was kind of interesting to me because instead of August 3rd, August 3 equals 145 and 46. And we know that Joe Biden is Catholic, would be the second Catholic president that we'd ever have. You know, JFK being the first, who was the 35th president, died at age 46. But I'll talk about the 71 a little bit more as we go on. And 152 also connects with Joe Biden because whenever you write out Joe Biden, that equals 152. So a big day for him to be in the news, and especially this seeing that 46 connection with him. But if you were to look at North Carolina, the predictions that they put out for that state, they put Biden at 48% and Trump at 44% of voters from North Carolina. And here, I just feel like they just took each other's numbers a little bit. Like Donald Trump equals 48, so Biden got the 48, Trump got the 44, and whenever you write out Joe Biden, that equals 44. But not only that, the 48 kind of stands out more to me because when I was looking at his past, you know, like he was the senator of Delaware, and he became the senator of Delaware just like days after, not even a full month after the death of his daughter and wife in their car accident back in 1972. That happened in December, so it was like that following January he was put in office for, you know, he got the senator of Delaware. And Delaware actually has Gematria of 48, and it's going to be 48 years this year on December 18th, whenever his wife and daughter passed away. So, and another 48 connection is, if you realized on April 8th, that's when Biden was announced the Democratic nominee after Bernie Sanders dropped out. And so, like on 4/8, he becomes the Democratic nominee, and you see all these 48 connections with him. And if you went back to the date that he actually launched his presidential campaign, you'll find that it was on April 25th, 2019, and that actually has a date numerology of 48. When you take 4 plus 25 plus 19, it equals 48. And talking about the date that he officially got to be the Democratic nominee on 4/8, April 8th, what stands out about that is his late wife's upcoming birthday, or would have been upcoming birthday, Nelia Hunter. Her birthday is on July 28th. Actually, the same date last week, whenever it was announced that he's going to be soon revealing his VP running mate candidate. So on the date of her anniversary birthday is whenever they released that news. But if you were to look at the span of days between whenever he became the official nominee to her upcoming birthday, it was 112 days. And her first name equals 112. But it's not only 112 days, it's actually exactly 16 weeks. And with 16, that stands out because, like Zach has mentioned in the past, if Biden were to become the president, he would be the 16th Democratic president that we'd have. And what I think got us off on that was August 17th this year is going to be the date of the Democratic Convention, and that's the day that leaves 136 days left in the year. And 136 prime number is 16, so they have this connection, 16 and 136. And another thing that I just noticed talking about, Georgia and North Carolina is, this might be a stretch, but I just found it interesting, that Georgia is the 4th state in order of statehood, and North Carolina is the 12th state. And so 12 plus 4 equals 16. So it's interesting that they were talking about those particular states on this day. But a lot I'm going through, so sorry if I'm rushing it. But if you were to take yesterday's date, August 3rd, the day that they ran these predictions, August 3rd to Joe Biden's upcoming birthday was a span of 110 days away. President equals 110. So, I mean, who's to say this could just be foreshadowing events to happen? I mean, wouldn't that be just so in your face, though? Like, I wouldn't, that'd just be wild. 46 and 45 right above their numbers. And then also yesterday to Georgia's upcoming birthday in order of statehood. Georgia's birthday, or, when they became a state on January 2nd. Yesterday to January 2nd was 152 days like Joe Biden equals 152. And again, I'm talking about Georgia because that's the prediction here where they have 46 and 45% voters. And the 152, like August 3 again right there. So, I mean, quite a connection there with all of that, and how they're calling it a tight race. When you look right here, tight race even has the 152 and 46, like it could be the 46th president. Yesterday to the upcoming election was also 92 days away. Joe Biden Jr., 92. And just to tie in Nelia Hunter Biden with CBS News Battleground, I just saw that they had an overlap. Maybe nothing too important, but it was just interesting how a lot seems to be revolving around her. And then, yeah, how I pointed out that, I guess I put this in the beginning, but from election day to her anniversary death is a span of 46 days, and pretty wild. And then knowing that the date of election is 113, and it's funny too that election day equals 113. But 113 prime number is 30, and Nelia actually died at age 30. So just another tie-in there that I found. But, I mean, it just seems to be a lot with his past, and maybe, you know, obviously getting him to where he's at right now. But, oh, and then talking about how I was going to go back to the number 71 with Catholic. Let's see if so Catholic equals 71. Well, her first and last name that she went by, Nelia Hunter, has that 71. And the day that she died, on December 18th, let's see, December 18th this year is going to be the 353rd day of the year, and 353 is the 71st prime number. And 71 was a big number just to begin with the first Democratic debate last year on June 26, 2019, whenever it was exactly 71 weeks before Election Day. And we were kind of more eyeing Elizabeth Warren because now she's 71 years old and the only candidate that would have been 71 years old. But, I mean, still, she's still in the picture. I know a lot of people like Kamala Harris to be the running mate, but, and then even in here, I pulled this up if no one's ever seen it, how Savannah Guthrie asked Elizabeth Warren a question and uses the number 71 in it. So it's like, why do they keep talking about 71 unless it's pointing to possibly Catholic?
And we'll start this evening with Senator Elizabeth Warren. Senator, good evening to you.
Thank you.
You have many plans: free college, free childcare, government health care, cancellation of student debt, new taxes, new regulations, the breakup of major corporations. But this comes at a time when 71% of Americans say the economy is doing well, including 60% of Democrats. What do you say to those who worry this kind of significant change could be risky to the economy?
So yeah, if you haven't seen that before, I know Zach's covered a lot and probably a lot more detail about it. But, and yeah, just to show how that date exactly, back in 2019 to this coming election, is exactly 71 weeks. So, who knows, it could be another Catholic, possibly, but let me just make sure it's all going. Hey everybody, I know I'm not usually a live streamer, but cool. Hopefully it'll all load better after I finish, and hopefully it's not all chopped up. But, and then just to end it here, I just pulled up this picture of the United States and every flag for each state, and noticing that North Carolina and Georgia have similar flags. I mean, this is just an observation that, you know, the red, white, and blue is pretty popular with most of the states, but not all this. It's only these three states that have the blue on the left, and then the kind of like the flags on the right, the red and white stripes. And just seeing that, and then seeing how Texas, we know that that's the same way. And Texas was a big part of Biden's news yesterday because apparently he's going to be rallying in Texas. I'm not sure what dates, but and that's just a major move, I guess, just because Texas is a red state and nobody has made it a blue state since Jimmy Carter. And I actually tell you that in this video from CBS, and I'll put this in the video at the end so you guys can take a listen to it. But just to see, like, out of all of them, how it was those 3 states too, like how they have kind of similar flags with the blue on the left side, I thought was pretty interesting. And I just saw that red, white, and blue equals 83, just like yesterday's date, 8/3. And even their daughter who passed away in that car accident, her name was Naomi. Naomi even has that 83, like, murder. But Naomi also has the 52, like, president. So, I mean, just a lot to consider, I guess. But I think that was pretty much where I wanted to wrap up. So I guess they pushed back his announcement date of when he's going to call out his VP running mate. And it would be interesting to see, you know, if for some reason they would announce it on a Sunday. So Sunday would be August 9th. And what I found with August 9th that is kind of interesting is that it's the 222nd day of the year, that big 222 number we keep seeing. And it's going to be right before the Democratic Convention. Democratic Convention equals 222, just like what day of the year it would be. But if you want to talk about the 144, like how that's how many days are left on August 9th left in the year, 144, I know that whenever you run the dates from Nelia Hunter's birthday to the day that she died on her 144th day of her year. And also, if you wanted to look at Joe Biden's campaign slogan, or his, whatever you call it, how it's just simply Biden president right here. Biden president has interesting Gematria because Biden president also equals 144 and 72. 72, like car accident in 1972. And what was it? His Joseph Biden Jr., 72. And I think I did leave out one thing I wanted to point out when I was talking about the convention, how it was going to be on August 17th. And August 17th, how it's the day leaving 136 days left in the year. I don't believe I mentioned it. But Nelia Hunter equals 136. And even if you pulled up Beau Biden, the son who passed at age 46, if you take his full name here, even including his little nickname that they throw in there, that equals 136 in the most pure cipher. But even if you remove the nickname, in reverse full reduction, he still equals 136. So the wife, or the mother and son, you know, Joe Biden's wife and son both have that 136 connection, like how the convention's going to start on the day leaving 136 days left in the year. So just some things I wanted to get out there and share with everyone because, you know, I just haven't had time to do a whole lot lately.